Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to draw and colour a pink cloud scene. I saw it online, I really like it. Shout out to Jake Weirick. I'm going to link him in my description below, but it's his photography. So I've got some grey paper. I actually really like drawing on grey paper. I feel like it gives it a bit more depth. Again, I'll put links and everything that I used today in the description below. So because this is just a short tutorial, I'm actually going to just do a really small section of this piece of paper, but if you want to try it out, then use the whole piece of paper. I think it would look fab being bigger. 10cm by 13.5. So I'm just going to cut it out, but I'm just going to leave a bit of a gap at the bottom, at each side, just because if the colour goes off slightly, then I can neaten it off later on. The colouring pencils I'm going to use today are called Caran d'Ache Luminance Series. These are my favourite pencils. Here they are. It's quite expensive, this set, but they are really worth it. I'm going to start with a little bit of sketching. So in the picture, it's got the moon sort of about 2/3 up. So I'm just going to draw a really faint, small semicircle because it's hiding behind the clouds. If you guys find it hard to rough draw, then I would suggest doing a kind of tracing method. You can't really trace through this paper because it's very opaque, but what you can do is project it onto this paper, and I've actually got a video on how to do that, so I'm going to link that up here now. Otherwise, just rough draw it kind of where you think bits are. So because we're drawing on grey paper, which is like a mid-tone colour, we need to lighten the areas that are quite light in the picture before we even put down that colour. And this is just because it is a mid-tone colour, it's going to be harder to get that vibrant colour that you want. So I'm just going to use a base colour. You can use white. My white is sort of nearly finished, so I'm just going to use, it's slightly off-white, it's basically white. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore the moon for now, but I'm kind of going to build up some colour where there are lighter bits in the picture. So around the moon there's actually there's a nice blue colour, and it's kind of slightly brighter around the moon. So I'm going to use the same pencil and draw around the moon. And then what I'm going to do is fade it out. So make it quite white in the middle, and then slowly fade out. So that's going to help achieve the colours that we want later on. So now I'm going to start with my dark colour on the outside here. The colour I'm going to go for, maybe a navy. What's handy about having the grey on the outside is that you can kind of just colour and see how your colours come out. Actually, I want to show you. So if I was to put down white first, I don't know if you can see this that well, and put this blue over it. It's the same blue. So that's the one without the white underneath, and that's the one with the white underneath. So you can really change the colour depending on what colour's underneath. So what I'm going to do is actually just use this colour as like the base underneath, because I think part of it will come through and it will look quite nice. So doing this side to side technique just is a quick way of getting your page covered. You don't need to worry too much about the edges yet. Okay, so we've got a base colour down. which is going to help. Now we lay down the darker colour. So I've got the darker colour, which is number 159, and I'm going to start to work in the corner here. So I think this dark colour kind of goes up to about here, so I'm just going to kind of draw a faint line. I may even darken it even more using a bit of black, because in this corner it's so dark. So now I'm just going to build up a bit of colour with the blue. It's not going to be dark like it was up here, but it's kind of going to be mid pressure. A bit more pressure in the areas where you can see that it's darker. Right, so I've kind of got my rough bit there. Now I'm going to go in with the this pencil, which is 185. I'm going to start to build up from this section and just overlap slightly from the previous bit, so it doesn't. So we've got a nice overlap. We don't really want lines if we can avoid it. Okay, now I've kind of got that section down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a tiny bit of 171, literally just around the edges. Okay, so that's literally all I'm going to do, and the rest I'm going to carry on with the colour that we had. I'm going to build it up slowly, so circular motions, and at this point you don't need to press too hard. So again, just harder pressure on the outside, softer on the inside. So I can see kind of a slight halo around, so to fix that I'm going to use the lighter colour that we used on the inner bit of the, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit more around the edge, just to kind of soften out that curve that you can see. Okay, for now I'm going to stop and say that's my background. Next we can do the moon, I think. Let's start with the original whitish colour that we had. I'm going to colour in that circle. Right, then I'm going to use a grey colour. I'm going to start to build up sections for the crater. And then because I do actually have the white, try and go over the brighter bits, just to brighten it up a little bit. And what can help as well is using a white gel pen. I do actually sometimes use that in my colourings because it just makes it pop out a bit more. Okay, so that's the moon done for now. So we're going to start the pink clouds now. I'm going to start at the bottom with the kind of dark blue that we had initially and just do a vague part of that. I'm going to go over with the mid-tone colour. Okay, and then one more run over with the darker colour, just because still at the minute you can see the strokes of the pencil and I don't want that, so we'll just do one more layer in a different direction just to get rid of some of those. I'm going to use this colour, which is number 93, and it's a grey, but it's a pinky purpley grey, and that's the colour I'm going to try and build up a bit over here, kind of layering it down fairly quickly. I'm now just drawing this colour where I see the shadows, so I'm avoiding any other sections where I can't see shadows. Okay, so I've done the kind of basic shadow area, although I want to kind of top it up, so some of the colours aren't quite right, they need to be a bit darker, or they need to have some of the blue on it. I'm going to try with this grey colour. Okay, whilst my camera was charging, I just added a few more shadows here and there with the blues and a bit of a grey. So now we're going to do the fun part. We're going to do the pink. So I'm basically going to now fill in, it's going to be quite bright, all the white bits with pink. Okay, so we've got our rough pink colour down. Don't worry, it's not perfect. We will fix it. So really up to this point I've been working with the drawing as a whole, I'm kind of doing whole sections. Now I'm going to work on small sections of it, just to really sort out some detail. First thing I'm going to do is get my blue pencil and make sure it's really sharp. Basically it's the colour that is around the cloud. As you can see around the cloud, it's just very faded, it's not sharp. So I'm going to get the blue colour and I'm going to kind of go into the colour, the lighter colour, and just create a sort of cloudish pattern. Just so it doesn't look faded. And you can, I mean, I'm covering the rough image here, but I'm just making little grooves almost. So that looks, as you can see, a bit sharper than this. So I've done that little section there. I'm going to leave this, I'm going to do it in sections. The colour that I'm actually going to use is this purple. It is a number 95, aubergine. And I'm just going to pick out points that I think need to darken a little bit. Also going to keep on hand the navy that we were using at one point. So I've carried on working with it. I'm nearly done now. I'm still just adding a few minor details with this purplish, dark purplish colour. So I thought I'd just show you the end bit of me filling that in. And if you really want to, I've got some white pens. I'm gonna go over my moon. And I feel like this just brightens it up. Because unfortunately the, however much white I put down, still can't seem to get to the shade of white that I want. That's our moon. So I added a bit more purple and some more shading in some of these areas. But yeah, that's it, finished. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, please give me a like and hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you all soon with a new video. Bye guys.